panic in Aso Rock as I speak to you. Nigerian army, one of Nigerian army have visited Russia. As I speak to you guys now, there is heavy panic in Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Senate president right now, because they are afraid of what happened in Burkina Faso, in Mali should not happen. I will show you people the video. The video is available. Watch this video yourself. You will hear from the man. He snapped with the Russian soldiers. They have discussion with Russian soldiers. As I talk to you now, it's causing a lot of panic. But share this video on your notifications and drop your comment. Yes, before then, let's talk about the update of Samuel Okpa in 2 minutes before I will show you guys the video. As I have earlier said, that right now Samuel Okpa case is still in the court in Finland. Has not been concluded yet, because the Finland themselves are assuming right now, that is what they are assuming. Don't forget that in the case of the Kanu issue in the court, when the DSS submit their weakness, despite most of their weakness were covered with masks, they don't know who is speaking. But it took the Kanu legal team to cross-examine what they brought. And you will see with what is available for us to the public, we could see that most of the evidence that those DSS weakness brought before the court were just mere allegations. They could not differentiate it. They could not explain. Whereby they are asking a weakness, a question, he begin to fumble. He doesn't even know what he has come to defend. So that is it. So is it not that though you are trying to preaching Samuel Okpa on this platform? No, we are saying the way it is. I'm not defending Samuel Okpa on this platform. Neither am I defending Nigeria in this platform. I've said it time without number. That like the way it is the way I will tell you guys here. I've told you guys here that Samuel Okpa cannot be extradited to Nigeria, and which I have even promised somebody that if Samuel Okpa is bring to Nigeria, I will give any guy who is ready to go with me $1,000. I'm not joking. I'm not here to do this thing. I will give the person $1,000 if you are there to challenge me that you are sure, it's sure for you that Samuel Okpa will be bring to Nigeria. $1,000. If you rate $1,000 now, you know that $1,000 is almost 1.6 million. So I'm ready to give you. Samuel Okpa cannot be bring to Nigeria. But let that be another. Let this issue be another day. Well, we are talking now about the panic in Aso Rock now. Nigerian army, one Nigerian army man has visited Putin in Russia to have discussion with him. Please watch this video. As you watch this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel on your notifications.
Chief of Defense Staff, right here in Moscow, Russia. It's a pleasure to meet you. Nice meeting you. What are your name? Tofirius, from the United States. Unfortunately.
Just let me take a photo with you guys together.
I'm happy to be here to unite with the rest of the world for peace for the whole world. Preserving the memory prevents us from making similar mistakes in the future. The parade and the equipment display shows us that we need more peace than war.
Did you enjoy the parade today?
Yeah, great.
How did you like the victory today?
Yeah, it was awesome. Great. Our goal for us is to make Nigeria safer. The mandate of Mr. President is very clear. We should secure the country, both our territorial integrity and also to assist the police, especially in making sure that internally Nigeria is safe and secure. And so we're working assiduously together with other security agencies to ensure that we achieve that. It's a tall task, being that our borders, are very porous. Then the issue of poverty, hunger, and this issue. So a lot of people get attracted to coming to Nigeria, and a lot of them don't mean us well. So that's why it's important that we tackle this thing squarely and make sure that Nigeria remains safe and secure. The problem is that, firstly, what we realize that every region has its own peculiarity. It's not all one for all. Secondly, there are internal issues, there are external issues. So it's a portfolio of challenges that's ongoing. The military is doing so much to ensure that there is peace. For Benue State particularly, there are a lot of internal wranglings. It has to do with politics, with cultural issues, with traditional issues. So you find out that even the locals within have their own internal organs, and that has also afforded opportunity for other people externally to come and also influence what's going on there. So that's why it's important that we continue to work together. The military is doing a lot with the kinetic and the non-kinetic. I've established an advisory team that has gone around trying to talk to them to get those ones that are causing most of this problem, especially the locals. The headsmen are there, some coming in because, you know, from Benue, you can also link up to Cameroon. So we have issues of the abandoning influence into whatever it is that is going. A lot of arms and ammunition crossing across the border, human migration, illegal migration, drugs, and all sorts coming in through the border. So that's why it's critical for us, as we're doing that, we must take deliberate effort to address the issue of border management. Is critical. I've seen countries that have built physical wall to protect their countries, and frankly speaking, I think that's what we need. Because of the situation we are in now, whatever it takes, we need to secure all our borders. We have about 1,500 kilometers border stretch with Niger Republic, over 1,000 with Cameroon. We have some areas with Chad. We have with Benin Republic. All these areas we have criminals flowing into Nigeria. You know, there's an attraction to Nigeria. Well, people feel Nigeria is rich with so many things, and it's large. So they want to take advantage of that coming into Nigeria to come and do what they're doing. So it's critical for us to continue to work together. For Benue State, you know, they have border with some with Taraba, within those areas, some even across the border. So that's why it's important that we must continue to reach with all the states adjoining Benue State, working together as a team. With Cameroon, we naturally have multinational joint task force. We work with them within those other areas too, because again, they too need to be secured. They are equally suffering the same fate because they're having a lot of attacks on their own bodies, and that's what. But again, the criminal element of the Ambazonians are also causing a lot of problem. Crossing into Nigerian border to kill, steal, and destroy a lot of things. So we are working both within and outside to ensure we address those issues. And you know how the Lakurawas came from? They started from Niger. It was a group from Niger that came in. And you know, we have warned severally and advised Nigerians, don't bring foreigners in and say they are your brothers. They are never your brothers. They don't mean us well. And that's the same thing with the Lakurawas. It's our people that brought them in. We gave them where to stay. We started doing with them, funding them, giving them one thing or the other, until when they realized that we couldn't continue with the funding, they started taxing. When the taxes were not coming in, they started attacking. And this has repeatedly continued to harm us as a nation. Boko Haram started like that. We got to where we are. The Lakurawas came in like that. See where they're taking us to. The new group they're saying that is having around the Kainji area is not a new group. They're the same terrorist group that have been suffering casualties from the northwest. They are looking for safe havens that have moved towards the Kainji forest to go and establish. And when they moved there, they went into the communities and told them we're our friends, we're together, we're not doing anything. The same thing. They said they were going to give them funds. Where they couldn't meet up, they started taxing them. Where they couldn't meet up, they started attacking them and killing them. So most of these problems, we are the ones even causing it on ourselves. And that's why it's important. We should not allow any foreigner to come in, whatever guise. Anybody coming in, you should follow through the proper channel. There are proper channels for you to move into countries. Let's stop this idea of we're being a big brother to everybody, and then they come in here and then become monsters against us. That is what was causing our problems. Terrorist groups are terrorist groups. You have terrorist groups, you have bandits, you have cultists, you have armed robbers, you have the militants, you know, with the crude oil and all these issues. So the idea is, for us, they're all criminals. That's just the common thing. And one thing is that, you know, they cooperate more. And that's why it's important for the good people to also cooperate. Because what I realize is that the good people just stay in and say, look, these guys are criminals. These guys are cooperating and doing things together. And that's why they seem to be everywhere. The good ones must say no, never. We will never encourage them. We will never give them any safe haven to come and stay within our areas. Once we see them, because they trickle in gradually and you keep quiet, Until they gather the number, then they come out. That's what is happening everywhere. So that's why it's important for everybody not to allow them. Don't give them any safe haven for them to try. You know, Nigeria is non-aligned, so we do not take sides with anybody. And that gives us the ability to be able to, you know, have relationship with any other country that is peaceful. As you know, as you're aware, Russia has been with Nigeria for very, very long. And not only Russia, other countries. Even when Nigeria was having its own civil war, it was Russia that came to our aid and all this. So it's important that we keep our relationship open and follow up people that are really, you know, because they say a friend in need is a friend indeed. It is when your friend stands by you when you are in trouble, that's the kind of friend you should stand with. And so it's important that we continue to leverage with all those that are trying to support us and continue to work, because that's the only way we can. You know, we don't produce what we need. And so it's been difficult sometimes, even with your money. Getting to buy stuff has been extremely difficult. So if we look at people that are trying to assist us, why not? I know in every area's training exchange program we're doing, you know, Nigeria does a lot with, you know, it will interest you to note that Niger, Mali, like I mentioned, and Burkina Faso, we still have some of their students in our schools as we speak. So we still do a lot of things together with them, and and even trading across border, it still happens. Because they know that a lot of them rely on Nigeria for most of the items they use. And they know that they cannot shut us down because it will be detriment to their own development. And so that's why it's very, very important that we must continue to work together, militarily, otherwise, because it's important. The criminals we're dealing with, the terrorists, they don't respect border. They don't care whether you're in Chad, Nigeria, all they want is to kill. And that's why it's important that we must work together to prevent them having free havens for them to cross and perpetuate their acts. Our Air Force has been fantastic. It's been remarkable. I mean, with the challenges they're having of not having enough platforms, they are just magical. And I'm really very proud of our Air Force. And I know if we have more, we can do more. And that's why it's important. And like I said, not only Russia. We need all lovers of Nigeria. Every country that supports us and loves us and is ready to provide what we need, definitely we want to go for them. One of the areas that we get the highest casualty is IEDs, improvised explosive devices, which are planted on the road. And why does it work? Because our roads are not paved. So it makes it difficult. And it is very dangerous such that if a vehicle steps on it, it's blown.
The topic for this video is how shameless and problematic Nigeria is at this point. I first of all know you would want me to mind my business and talk about my own country, Ghana. But listen, I don't really care about what you think. And if you haven't checked in my videos, I talk more about my country than any other on this platform. But at this point, it's not just silly and problematic how miserable Nigeria is. It's becoming for all of West Africa. And if you feel agitated already for my choice of words, wait and hear the rest of all I have to say. Let's get into it. Nigeria's population is a national security threat to every neighboring and West African country. As of March this year, Nigeria's population is more than half the total population of West African countries. More than half. This means on any given day, the influx of Nigerian citizens to any West African country will easily swallow up the entire local population. This is why every country in West Africa needs to have a say in what goes on in Nigeria, on the backdrop of the fact that they like to travel, ladies and gentlemen. They like to move, and they are moving in numbers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, two major situations are making Nigeria look scary to the rest of Africa, especially the neighboring West African countries. And I said two major things. But first, let's put aside the lack of stable electricity and inflation for now. Those are regular problems everywhere that every country in Africa has to deal with. However, the two worrisome situations brewing in Nigeria, which threatens the sovereignty of other African countries, has to do with the religious extremism and poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to again hold back on the insults for now, and also put down your biased glasses and hear me out for a minute before you come in. Are you aware of the number of Islamist jihadist groups operational in Nigeria as of 2025? Let me give you the list, ladies and gentlemen. It started in the year 2000 with Boko Haram, whose aim is to establish an Islamic State in Nigeria. Then the first splinter group from Boko Haram called Ansaru was formed in 2012. After Ansaru came the next splinter group called Islamic State West Africa Province, aka ISWAP, which started in 2016. Darul Salam also came in from the Niger Delta, and then the multiple Fulani militant groups came in. Just when we thought these groups were too many to handle for one country, then we hear of a group originally from Mali and also operational in Niger moving in to Nigeria. They are called Lakurawa. The situation appears to get worse by the days, from one bad jihadist group to a worse group. Ladies and gentlemen, is Nigeria becoming or already become the main breeding ground for all terrorist groups in Africa? What's going on here? When other countries are thinking of ways to create conducive environment to entice foreign investment, Nigeria is rather enticing terror. Let me ask you this. What conditions are made where almost all of them are situated? Groups will directly enter all the nearby countries. These are countries in West Africa. This may include the splinter groups moving to other countries, or the citizens of Nigeria abandoning their own homeland for another. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious issue that needs immediate continental concern. Nigeria is a friend of Ghana. Nigeria is a part of ECOWAS. When they are moving into your country, we cannot turn them away. But when 1 million moves in at one time, what then becomes the fate of the host nation's security, sovereignty, and economy? And this can happen on any given day, ladies and gentlemen. And what actually terrifies me is this. I don't see any real political actions or steps taken by the leadership of the country to deal with the situation. You don't hear of the presidency talk about strategies. You don't hear of governors talk plans, and senators the same. Where are the marches, ladies and gentlemen, and the demonstrations on the streets to force the hand of the government to face it head on? Where are they? It's like the fate of the people in this country is in individuals' hands. Those with the resources may hire armed officers for their personal security, and those who don't have to live carefully and away from certain hotspots. Ladies and gentlemen, is this the best Nigeria can do in their own country? Day in, day out, all we hear is kidnapping, robbery on buses and even on trains, village killings, and so on. Is this ever going to change in Nigeria in the nearest possible time? Nigeria currently ranks 10 on every type of crime list in the world. Talk about cybercrime, organized crime, financial crimes, and extremism. You will find them on the top 10 list of all of them. What type of society are you building? On the criminality index on ocindex.net, you are 6th out of 193 countries, 2nd out of African countries, and number 1 in West Africa. You are ranked 19th among the least peaceful countries in the world, and nothing shows it bothers you, especially they that hold power in the country. Omanaja, what's up? When you finally get the chance to vote for a president who may bring a difference to the country, you reject it. You vote the same type of leader continues. Why won't you try change? Why can't the people try what Ghana did? You come out in your numbers. You create your own coalition centers. You protect the ballot boxes at all costs and ensure a free and fair elections for once in your lifetime. Because if you as a regular Nigerian don't like what's going on in your home country, you have to do something about it, ladies and gentlemen. That cannot be done by anyone else but yourselves, unless it benefits you. What's the ultimate goal here? When you have chosen democracy as your system of governance and it's only making life a living hell for the majority of the people, what is the plan, ladies and gentlemen? This is disturbing. Now, on to the second situation that is of equal concern as the first. This is about the level of poverty in Nigeria. You have more than 40% of your total population living below the global poverty line of $2.15 per day. That's more than 100 million people, ladies and gentlemen. That's a national security crisis. To have more than 100 million people who don't spend up to 3,300 naira in a day is problematic for the state's economy and for the people themselves. And here is how. The 3,300 naira per day will include your transport fare in and out to work if you have one, or to school, your breakfast, your lunch, your supper for one person. And so when that's not possible for more than 100 million people, then there isn't much these 100 million people are doing to contribute to the economy of the local state. People must work, produce, buy, pay